What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we're talking about Bitcoin here. We were talking about yesterday's scenario just at the FOMC minutes, all right? This was a very risky range to get into any type of trading scenario, as we do know that when we have these news events, we have a lot of volatility. I'm going to share with you how this level over here was extremely good for a short position to aim for the lows, and also the potential scenarios that we can find in the next coming hours and days. Okay, we'll be talking about those resistance zones and also the support levels, because if we do lose this daily level, this low over here, I'm going to share the potential targets that could be hit in the coming days, and where we could get a big massive bounce, also a potential reaction. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned for this on Bitcoin. We'll be also taking a look at the DXY, because DXY is still continuing to the upside. We're getting that bounce from this level. I'm going to share a little bit of analysis on the DXY, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi guys, let's go straight into the Bitcoin price. Doing a bit of traveling, gone snowboarding to Andorra la Vella, so I'll be back on Sunday straight on with the analysis. Let's go straight through Bitcoin here and talk about what happened yesterday, because a lot of people might think, hey, wasn't this a successful breakdown here and we were going to go to much lower levels? Well, just hours after that breakdown, we had the FOMC minutes. All right, we know when we have these kind of news events that we want to stay away from our trading or have very defensive trading. Okay, we did have a little bit of volatility in the price just hours after the FOMC minutes, had a massive rise here to the upside. Now, as you can see here with the VRVP, this was a huge range of resistance. Okay, we're just hitting that higher low support level, getting above it, all right, with quite low volume. Okay, there was high volume on the lower time frames, but we're just basically hitting that zone, as you can see, where we have a large spike on the VPVR, okay, the point of control from the volume traded here the last 7 days approximately, as you can see right there. Okay, so we're just hitting that massive resistance zone. And then one of the main reasons as well that this was a good short, you were hitting that 50%, almost a 618 Fibonacci from this high to the low. All right, so we were adding that confluence, get the point of control, you have the support trend line. All right, there you have from this massive drop, you do get a bounce. As you can see from this drop, okay guys, the volume is still much higher than the actual bounce that you have in here. All right, so we are considering this range for a short position. Right, we're breaking down, we're having some large momentum to the downside. When we get these kind of bounces, this is good, guys. This is the range that we want to look for confluence. You have the point of control from the range, you're hitting the 50%, 618 Fibonacci range also, and this was a good level for the short. As you can see here with these moves, all right, where you are creating these higher highs and higher lows, you can see right over here already getting below this level. So this range over here is likely to create a lower high and come down to test this range. Now, when I woke this up this morning, okay, I did have some alerts at this range. I did see the price action getting this consolidation, and for me, it was a good level to pull the trigger and get into that short position. Now, of course, I have closed 50% of this trade position. I am looking for lower potentially, and I'll explain that. Okay, looking at the DXY, like I mentioned, but as you can see, that entry here at 24,440 range, all right, getting that consolidation at this range right there, slightly below the point of control. Okay, and I was looking for the point of control as massive resistance, not being able to break it. Okay, so if we do get, okay, here for the risk management, the short position, all right, this is where I entered at this range. I was looking for above the point of control, these highs to not be hit, all right, to have massive resistance and get a consolidation, and finally getting that move here to the downside to test the low. So it was pretty successful trade right over here. Okay, I hope it makes sense. All right, on that breakdown, on that massive move to the upside, then of course this was very, very likely just checking out the volume. Volume is much higher to the downside than actually this big major bounce hitting this resistance zone. All right, so we're testing the lows right now. The possibility here in creating a double bottom is possible. Okay, so this is why the lows is a take profit zone. Right, if I'm taking the one of my main targets on my trading, you know, when I'm longing or when I'm shorting, is to test the highs or test the lows. That's a take profit. That is a must, a take profit. Now, of course, I do think that this is slightly more bearish. I do think that we do have a little bit of more momentum to the downside. We've broken a little bit of structure here, creating, you know, a lower low right there. I do see this as a lower high, and I think that more momentum to the downside is possible after the huge pump that we had here on the 15th, okay, 16th of February, right, with this massive momentum to the upside. I think could have a bigger cool off. All right, so just analyzing the scenario here, we do have this daily level. We have 2 daily levels that we talked about yesterday. They haven't been tapped. Now, if we do break down from this daily level, now we want to analyze the situation here, zooming out, okay? Because we'll be entering another trading zone, all right? We've been trading in this zone for quite some time, so it's going to be very difficult for some trading scenarios. Yes, of course, we could scalp. We could talk about some scalping scenarios as well, but I prefer, once we've been trading in a zone for quite some time, leave that zone and get into some other trading opportunities. And this is what I want to explain right away, okay? We're talking about the lower range here. If the price does break down below this daily, below the lows that have been created here the last couple of days, and the daily level at $23,500 level, then of course I am looking for that point of control from the volume traded here at the end of January and the beginning of February. All right, as you can see, this price action has a massive point of control right there, and it's hitting also as well the 618 from this low to the high. Okay, the 618 is right over here at the point of control also. So it's a zone where I do expect a reaction, at least a reaction. Okay, you could get that volatility. If you start forming a double bottom scenario, now I'll be paying very much close attention here, just in case I need to jump into a long position. Now, of course, if I get into a long position here, I'll be taking profits at the daily level, for example. This is a very, very strong level, big support level, proven support, as you can see, all right? So I'll be range trading. This doesn't mean, guys, that this is going to come all the way up here to the highs, all right? So we basically, this is going to be for range trading. Now, if that does happen, come down here to the range, like I said, expecting a reaction. If I do not see a reaction, then of course, and the price does continue down, I will not enter a potential long position. At least on the very low time frames, 3 minute, 5 minute, I would be expecting a little bit of sideways action here at this $22,800 range, okay? Give or take a couple of hundred because of that volatility. But if it holds the range, starts creating double, triple bottom scenarios, this will be looking very good, okay, for that nice little spike to the upside. Something I'm paying attention here for my next potential trade setup. To the upside, well, it's very, very difficult to say, right? We have a massive range here. We've got the point of control. There is big resistance. I just see here lower low right there, lower high, okay, in this small little structure. It does look like that the price wants to try and push to lower levels. I am leaning more slightly bearish, okay, with this move. This was mentioned here the last couple of days. Look, leaning slightly more bearish for those moves to the downside. If we do have a huge leg up here, well, this is very, very hard to say, okay? I'm going to be, waiting for the range. I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of a risky short. If we do try and get above the point of control, hitting the daily, I think there is a possibility that the highs here at 25,340 can be hit, okay? So this is going to be, the next move up is going to be a little bit risky for shorting, okay? The reason why is because you're creating a double bottom. The really good reason here why this was a short, these lows were not tested and you're hitting a good resistance. The possibility here for a double bottom is likely. So if you start coming to have this price action here at this range, you could have a spike up, okay, to hit the highs and see what kind of breakout. Is it going to be another failed breakout like here? Well, this is something that we're going to have to wait and see. If it is a failed breakout, we'll be potentially looking for shorts. If it is a successful breakout, then potentially we could have that next day trade scalp scenario for that continuation to the upside. But there's a very, very huge amount of big cluster here of confluence resistance. Point of control, we got a daily level that hasn't been tapped. The structure here is not looking great. So overall, I'm still leaning slightly bearish to even go below $23,000 in the next couple of days. However, the possibility in the bears not having power to break down from this low is also possible, guys, for that double bottom, all right? So this not kind of a good trading zone for me here. If we break down, then I'll be looking here, just like I explained, bearish scenario, that 22.8K to hold, all right, that point of control. Then I'll be looking for my trading scenarios in this zone, guys. There will be a lot of resistance and support levels to take advantage for some trading scenarios, all right? Guys, I just want to go through this Bybit competition that there is right now for February. Derivatives face-off of 150,000 USDC prize pool, okay? I'll be leaving the link down below in the description so you can register. As you can see, there's still 3 days left, all right? And I'm just going to show you how it works. You need to register for the event, okay? I could be leaving the link down below in the description. hit derivatives trading volume of 30,000 US dollar, and at least by having 200 US dollar in your derivatives account. Okay, you also be ranked based on your PNL. Okay, so the highest PNL you have, the larger the prize you will have also, guys. All right, this is going to be going on for the next 3 days, as you can see. To register, the link is down below in the description. Let's jump in on the DXY, because DXY is looking pretty good, but it's also hitting a resistance level. So there is a possibility in creating that double top. So far, so good. DXY, we're talking about this, you know, descending flag, descending channel, breakout, holding as support, which is the value area low from December of 2022, guys. We're looking at this locally, as you can see, the fixed volume profile, this range over here, right? That value area low zone was massive resistance, and then finally broke it. Okay, lower highs. It was very likely that this was going to happen, you know, this big bounce and continuation to the upside. Now, short term, yes, we are hitting the value area high here, as you can see on the chart. This is where we are creating this double top. This is from this volume range. Okay, so we are forming that double top. We don't really know if it's going to break. I'm still relatively bullish on DXY. This is why, you know, I am bearish on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin could get a little bit of more momentum to the downside, at least for the next coming days, hitting that 22.8K range, and then we'll be analyzing the scenario there. But there's a small double top here on the DXY. Yes, of course, we are just testing that level at this moment. This could break this zone. If it does break this zone, I am looking for the 105 range. Okay, this high over here, likely to be hit if we do successfully break up. This will likely be very bearish for Bitcoin after that event. Not much to add up here on the DXY. We just had a critical zone. We're very much predicting this range to get a big bounce. Bullish here the last couple of days on the DXY, getting supported from this range, getting that bounce. So finally that is happening on the DXY. If we do break this resistance, I do see a nice push up to hit this high over here on the DXY, which is going to help Bitcoin to get that move to the downside. Other scenario here, of course, is getting that double top, coming back down to test this value area low from December. That's been also very strong support and resistance. Thank you guys for joining. This is going to be it, and I will see you in the next video.